Happy birthday, Mr. Goat. Have a green fish. I had a feeling on Mr. Goat's birthday, something good would happen to Roger Federer's forehand.
But that was cleanly struck indeed. Well, that's vintage.
Oh, that's hot. Mr. Goat, you have the option to get back in your goat boat on your birthday if you like. But of course, since it's his birthday, he can do whatever he likes, just like he does every single day. Today on Coffee Break Tennis, we break down the Dubai semifinals and we talk about the final that is to come tomorrow. And this will very likely be a double day where we'll do a video talking about what's going on with Nick Kyrgios in Acapulco. Of course, we'll see how that goes after today's tennis. I have to go do my own tennis on the court. We'll do a Kyrgios video because that's a lot of interesting stuff. And we'll talk a little bit about that today. But first, let's get into the Gael Monfils and Tsitsipas match, which was the first semifinal of the day and probably one of the best matches of the year. Now, I have to give so much credit to Stefanos Tsitsipas. You'll remember I had very high hopes for him last year. After his win over Federer at the Australian Open, I predicted that maybe he could find a way to keep playing that kind of tennis and beat Rafa and somehow, show up against Djokovic. Of course, that didn't happen, but I still have a lot of faith in him. And even though he had a couple disappointing early losses, 1-2, Gael Monfils, leading up to this tournament, he won Marseille, and now he's in the finals of Dubai in his very next tournament. This is definitely a big time for him, and a lot of credit to him in this win, but we got to point out that Monfils really had him. Tsitsipas is very tired, and credit to benefit for Federer, who's, he took advantage of Borna Coric for being very tired. We could argue that Tsitsipas is going to be even more tired tomorrow than Borna Coric was today, but I have to point out one of the biggest moments of the match as far as Monfils is concerned, when he basically would have won the match. Take a look at this. This is where a massive failure on Monfils' part not to challenge. I don't understand how he does. You'll hear the commentator. He's just as baffled as I am how this ball didn't get challenged and put Tsitsipas under a lot of pressure.
No, that's wide. Surely that's wide. Oh. No challenge, so I must be wrong.
He's not wrong.
It was miles wide.
How on earth did Monfils not challenge that? It would have been 5-all with Monfils one more to serve. And that's funny. Tennis Channel's replaying the match, and it's right at that same spot on my TV. What are the odds of that? It's a game of inches, this game. Now, of course, Monfils was able to take him to another tiebreak in the third set. It was a great match. I don't want to say Monfils did anything necessarily wrong. Tsitsipas was just, this is a 20-year-old young man. What belief he must have in himself. What confidence to hang like that against a veteran of the game and a guy who's having a resurgence right now. So a semifinal from Monfils here, I guess it's a good result. Losing to the young guys, the next gen, that can't feel good to these veterans of the game. But we all have to acknowledge at this point that Tsitsipas is very good, very for real, and a big factor of how he won the match is that he came to the net, I think, 43 times. We'll take a look at the stats and talk about how that was a major role in the match and how that might be a factor when he plays Federer tomorrow. The guy's got to be riding so high, Stefanos Tsitsipas, but he's got to be so tired. He's played a lot since Australia, whereas compared that to Roger, it's his first tournament back. Now, Roger has had some tricky matches, but it could not have gone much better against Borna Coric. And one thing, we'll look at the stats just a moment. Borna Coric, when he's got no legs under him, he has no plan B. He can't just all of a sudden start coming to the net a lot against Roger Federer. And he tried to hit a couple bad drop shots. Not exactly his game either. Stefanos Tsitsipas, on the other hand, can do a lot of damage at the net. And when he's starting to lose the legs to hang behind the baseline and hit the ball back and forth with you, he can start rushing the net, and he's going to do a lot of good things while he's up there as well. Let's take a look at the stats. So I was correct. An incredible 43 trips to the net from Tsitsipas. Compare that to 16 from Monfils. And 47 winners on 39 unforced errors. Now, there is a comment I've been meaning to look at, talking about the importance of second serve. I always say the famous saying, you're only as good as your second serve. And that can be very true, but first serve is a little more important at this level. Total points won, 133 for each player, so they're dead even. If you look at the stats frequently, you might see that Kyrgios win over Nadal. Kyrgios had actually won less points than Nadal. Pretty crazy. This match, they're even. 46% even on second serve won. Monfils, 1 point higher on first serve in, 1 point higher on first serve won. I would say the biggest difference, he even has one more break of serve than Tsitsipas total. Tsitsipas has less aces than Monfils, more double faults, but a whole lot of confidence, a lot of belief. Maybe not the strong suit for Gael Monfils. And the big difference here is coming to the net. How many times do we see in that match when it looked like, especially in that third set, I think Tsitsipas, when he was serving to get into the final set tiebreaker, there was a lot of, if I remember, I hope I'm not thinking of the end of the second set. I think this was the end of the third set. There were chances for Monfils, at least deuce chances, to finish the match right there, 7-5. In fact, yeah, I do remember watching it thinking, what a shame it would be for this great match to finish with, Tsitsipas looking like his legs are going to fall off and double faulting on match point or something, 7-5, not serving it out to give us a tiebreaker. What a shame that would be. But how many times do we see Tsitsipas find a way to come to the net? There was one particular in that last game before the tiebreaker. One backhand up the line from Monfils. It was great. Passing shot. But I believe the final point before we went to the tiebreak was Tsitsipas coming to the net and not even having to play a volley, because if you keep believing in that strategy and you keep coming to the net, sometimes you'll get past, sometimes you'll hit incredible volleys and win the point, and a lot of times you won't even have to play a volley. Your opponent will just miss from the pressure you were putting on the opponent. So let's look at Roger Federer's numbers. Trips to the net, Federer only 14 trips to the net, compared to Coric 11, 5 for 11. Like I said, that's not something he's going to be very good at when he's running out of legs and starts coming to the net. It's more desperation there. 11 for 14 from Mr. Fed. Obviously been great at net, getting better every year. 21 winners from the Fed, 13 unforced errors, only 5 off of the forehand, only 1 double fault. So Federer is cleaning it up, and I've seen some negative comments where people say Federer's lost it, Federer's screwed, Federer no longer has the magic. Well, the forehand looks to be working pretty good now, and that's going to be a major factor against Tsitsipas. The only thing I can see here is maybe Federer will feel a little pressure of, what if I lose to this guy again if things were to get tight? But I don't think Federer is going to let it get tight, and I don't think Tsitsipas has the legs to make it very tight. You could see the match going kind of like it did in Australia. There's going to be breakpoint opportunities. If somehow Federer starts missing on these breakpoint opportunities and getting screwed, maybe all of a sudden he'll think, geez, I can't break this guy. What is it with me and this? But I'm sure he has respect for Tsitsipas, but there's no way he's afraid of him. I don't think that's a thing that's going to happen. I think we're going to see Federer win in straight sets tomorrow. But you never know. So a couple quick comments. Take a look at this. This is the one I was talking about. This is from after the Australian Open final. So this guy, 640 is his name. He commented, he was quoting me, and I was saying first serve numbers, Rafa's 81% and Novak is 77%. That's pretty far behind, 4% behind. Second serve for Novak, 64, and Rafa, 58. Not far behind. Seems like someone has a heavy bias. So there I'm saying 4%, pretty far behind. 6%, not so far behind. Yeah, it looks good there until you realize the fact that there are way more first serves hit than second serves. Think about, most pros are going to hit more than 50% of their first serves in. If someone's serving very well, they could hit as high as 65, 75% first serves in. Every time the first serve goes in, there is no second serve. You'll notice in that Kyrgios match, even though he lost more points than Nadal, not very good on the second serve numbers, tremendous on the first serve win percentage numbers. There's more first serves put in play than second serves. Hence, the percentage not representing as many points. Just wanted to debunk that. Also, a little correction from the last videos from Philip von Paris. Hi, Matt. The never get to 100 refers to his 50th match win in Dubai, not the number of tournaments won. That's the problem when I'm reading a transcript. I didn't see the actual Annabelle Croft interview. I assume it was her interview because they're not showing it on Tennis TV on the app, so I don't get to see it when it's on Tennis Channel. But I only watch some of the matches on Tennis Channel. I usually watch most of my stuff on the phone for some reason. Just wanted to correct that. Federer was saying he's not likely going to get to 100 matches won in Dubai since he just got to 50 after all these years, of course. A couple more things before we get out of here. Take a look at the rankings. Tsitsipas will be in the top 10 no matter what happens tomorrow now. Major accomplishment for a 20-year-old, and obviously it means a lot to him. Roger Federer, very key here, with a win. You see him at 4,100. That'll put him 500 points, 40 because he didn't play last year. 4,600, which would put him just ahead of Kevin Anderson. 5th ranking spot in the world, just behind Juan Martín del Potro, who sadly, if you watched him in Delray Beach, he's not 100%. His movement is not good at all. I don't know why. It's hard to say. I don't want to say I know what the player is thinking or anything like that, but I wonder why he played that tournament when clearly he wasn't ready yet. And very sad, just more injuries, more sadness for Juan Martín del Potro. And he will not be able to defend one of his biggest titles ever, Indian Wells, because obviously the guy can't even move on the court. Cracked some big forehands in Delray Beach. Looked okay in the beginning, but I can't even remember who he lost to, but that final match, it was a little tough to watch. He was barely moving out there, wasn't going for a lot of shots. So he won't be there, meaning Federer, number 5 in the world, would get a top 4 seed, which is key for Roger Federer to at least make the final again like he did last year and defend his points. And finally, I talked about it earlier. I think it's interesting that Tennis Channel, tennis in general, they're going to market this drama, this battle. Sometimes they kind of cover up these somewhat ugly moments, but there's a lot of drama right now. Rafa, he lacks respect for the public, the rival, and towards himself. On Kyrgios, I'm different. Rafa's different. He can focus on what he needs to do. Tennis Channel writes, Rafa and Nick have a few things to say after their explosive Acapulco clash. So, maybe I will see you later tonight with a video talking more about that stuff. Comment below what you think. Comment below happy birthday for Mr. GOAT if you feel the need to do so. Either I'll see you a little bit later talking about Kyrgios, but we'll definitely see you after this Tsitsipas and Roger Federer clash tomorrow, because who's not going to be watching that? See ya!